will play Burkina Faso in the final of this year's WAFU U-17 Championship taking place in Cape Coast in Ghana. And unfortunately for Ghana, they had no answer to the firepower of the Burkina Faso. Of course, they lost that semi-final 1-0. And for the Golden Eaglets, 3-1 again, it was emphatic over Ivory Coast. So that is where we'll be beginning today's episode of Nigeria Super Fans Forum. I welcome you. My name is Olafemi Ashalo, and of course we'll be talking about some development in Nigerian football. Of course, the directive from President Muhammadu Buhari to the Nigerian Football Federation to amend part of its statuses in order to allow some stakeholders, key stakeholders, I'm talking about the football bloc now, the opportunity to have a better representation in the Congress. So the summary of that is that, of course, we might, at the end of the day, see a former Super Eagles player heading the Nigerian Football Federation. That is what a lot of people have been clamoring for. And of course, we'll quickly go to South Africa. Of course, South Africa, they've landed in Morocco. Of course, remember that the African Women Cup of Nations will be kicking off in Morocco next month. And SAFA, the South Africa Football Association, have told the players that get $30,000 each. Yeah, you heard that right. You can convert it to your currency, $30,000 each, if you're able to dethrone the Super Falcons as the champion of Africa. So that is just to give you a sneak peek into what we'll be discussing today. And of course, Kyle Ogundare is around. He's the prophet in the house. He said it as we were previewing that game, the semi-final game of the WAFU U-17 Championship, that it will be difficult for the Black Stallions in order to do anything against the Burkina Faso. And of course, it played out rightly there. That penalty in the second half, of course, denied Ghana the ticket, one of the two tickets to the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations that will be taking place in Algeria next year. Kyle Ogundare, welcome on the show once again.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
So it's unfortunate for Ghana now. They failed under 20 in Niger Republic. Now, damage, they will not be at the AFCON, and now under 17 they will not be going to Algeria. Kayode.
Yeah, it's part of what we've always been talking about on the show, and at the risk of repeating myself, I still think football stakeholders have to sit down
really unfair
and talk to CAF that this is very, very unfair on West Africa. There's no way you're going to shut out Ghana from the under-17, under-20. I mean, Africa's only under-20 World Cup was won by Ghana.
It's ridiculous.
They have won the under-17 on more than one occasion. So on what basis would you, any qualification process that seeks to exclude Ghana, Nigeria from the AFCON? It is a different thing if they participated and do not qualify.
It's a different thing.
It's a different
but
thing.
Now they are not even going all together.
They are not going because you have made it
you pitch them
practically
against
impossible.
each other, and
the best youth football is played in West Africa. Ghana, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea, they play the best youth football in Africa. And I think we should be putting our first foot forward every time. So any system that makes it impossible for us to do that is a system that is not only unfair, it is cruel and very, very inhuman, because a generation of players have been denied the chance to show what they are able to do. The Ghana team that, all kudos to the Burkina Faso, the Ghana team that lost are not outrightly bad. They just fine. They came up against better opposition. But if we had if everybody had gone on a knockout basis to qualify for the AFCON, I'm sure this Ghana would have been at the AFCON, and they would have deserved to be there. Let's be honest with ourselves. I saw all of their games, and like I told you on the last program, I said they usually make mistakes that will be punished at this level.
And we saw that
against Nigeria. We saw it against Burkina Faso.
Particularly better opposition, like you said.
Exactly. So, and you cannot blame the players much at this level. They are expected to make those kind of mistakes. If they play perfect football now, Femi, then there will be room for suspicion. Under 17s cannot play perfect football.
Like the Black Stars.
Like Black Stars. You don't expect them to play perfect football. There will still be those rough edges that, as the years go by, will be smooth. But for now, they are allowed to make those mistakes. Unfortunately, when they come up against better opposition, they will be punished for it. That's what has happened. And having said that, I think over the course of this competition so far, the two most consistent teams have gotten to the final. And for me, I foresee a cracker. And like I told you,
you told me something before we came on set. So
I'm going to repeat
so that the Nigerian fans will really come
I'm
at
going to
you.
repeat it. Well, for those Nigerian fans, I don't know how many of these games they have seen. Femi, I pride myself on having seen like practically all the games. And I can tell you, when I said this in the game again, before the semi-final, it sounded like I was just rambling. But I can tell you that if I was to pick the team that has shown the most promise in this competition so far, I'll pick the Burkina Faso. No caps. I'll tell you why. I'm not saying that Nigeria cannot beat them.
You are shaking this table.
No, I'm not saying Nigeria cannot beat them, because see, when I say I pick the Burkina Faso, it's not as if the Nigerians are way behind them. No, they have been the two most consistent teams, and
they both have 100% record.
Yes, if there's a team that can stop Burkina Faso, it is Nigeria. If there's a team that can stop Nigeria, it is Burkina Faso. So it is like the immovable force meeting an unstoppable object. Now, like we say in Yoruba land, anyfe pupa, anyfe pa. That
I can't even translate.
I will help you. He who wants to die has met somebody who is ready to kill. so there will be no quarters.
That is quite strong.
Exactly, no quarters. So this is going to be. I wish everybody will see this game. This is going to be one of the.
It's a game one must not miss.
It's a game that one must not miss. It's going down on Friday. Mm-hmm. I wish everyone will just see it, because I am sure, Femi, that these two teams, regardless of what the other oppositions will be at the AFCON, will get 2 of the 3 tickets to the AFCON, to the World Cup. I am sure of it. I have not
because
seen
of the quality we've seen.
Quality I've seen so far. See,
but don't forget that we've also not seen the WAFU Zone A play.
Well,
you have the Senegal. Sometimes Senegal can also be.
See, at that level, I expect the Senegalese to be stronger at under 23 level than under 17 and under 20.
Taller, physical, because of
Guinea, yes, Mali, yes. But then what I've seen of these Burkina Faso and of the Nigerians, I think they will stand a very good chance of making the World Cup. All things being equal, but you cannot tell in a competition, in a knockout competition. But I see them going very far because of the standard I've seen. Femi, the standard has been out of this world. I won't deceive you. For a competition of this level, at this sub-regional level, it has been on this level. So for me, I hope we'll see a good game on Friday, hopefully. Unfortunately, Ghana and Ivory Coast will play the final, the match that nobody wants to play, the third place. Yes. Nobody wants to play the third place, but they have to play it to fulfill.
Really, nothing at stake.
Nothing at stake. Nothing at stake. But I hope that in the years to come, there are players in the Ghana team that, and even the Ivorian team, the Diomande,
the guy that scored the penalty.
Yeah, the guy that scored the penalty against Nigeria. Then Appiah, the Andrew Appiah guy, Collins Ademan, the captain of the Ghana team. They are players that
I committed that penalty.
Yes,
that blunder.
They are players I hope to hear more about in the years ahead.
Okay, we've really sounded like a broken record regarding the unfair and unjustifiable zoning regarding age grade competition in the sub-regional level. But come on, that is the truth. I think CAF needs to do something about it. And regarding the final between Nigeria and, of course, Burkina Faso, I'll be putting out on the hot seat later in the competition. You need to tell us who you think will win. Though you already told me that Burkina Faso might just carry the day. Let's talk about the directive from the presidency. You know, this issue has lingered on for a long time. Okay. Of course, Amaju Pinnick said tenure will be is already winding down now. By next month, it will just be like a couple of weeks before he'll be stepping out of office. He had already said he's not seeking third time in office. And that came from the office of the president through the Minister of Youth and Sport, that the NFF should amend part of its statuses in order to allow certain stakeholders, particularly this very aggrieved football bloc, ex-footballers. Now, at the end of the day, we might see the likes of Kanu, J.J. Okocha, maybe heading the Nigerian Football Federation someday. I
want to be cautiously optimistic. Yeah, I'm happy that the field will be thrown open to a wider field, unlike the exclusive preserve of those who the NFF schools are certified to contest. But for me, what I think is that the fact that you were a footballer should be a bonus, not the main criteria for you thinking once you get there, simply because you are an ex-footballer, you do well. No, it doesn't follow like that. You have been an ex-footballer, the benefit of your wide experiences will help you if you get that into that position. But that is not going to be the sole reason why the sole campaign manifesto that vote for me because I was a footballer. No. You must have administrative acumen, you must have marketing skills, you must then
you should be able to attract corporate bodies to yourself.
Exactly,
that image.
Exactly. The integrity, you have to be above board, to be seen above board, to be trustworthy before sponsors will put their money on ground. So for me, as much as I want ex-footballers to get involved, I am also very, very cautious. I'm in a WhatsApp group with many ex-internationals, and I say the same thing there, that, you know what, as much as we are all clamoring, and see, okay, maybe I should start like this. This, what you have seen the minister do in the name of the president is as a result of the hard work of some people in the group that I say I belong to.
People like Dema Foludo.
I don't want to go into mentioning names.
Okay.
But this is the work of those people. They have tried at great personal cost. Some have been imprisoned because of this.
Wow.
Yes.
Imprisoned.
Some have been falsely alleged. They have been arrested and prosecuted falsely.
By who?
By the powers that be. Because they are trying to shake the table, like you said. And nobody wants
trying to change what they feel is unjust. It's restricting the law.
So now for them, the final victory will be to support the person who is best fitted to do this job, whether he's an ex-footballer or not. I want to see somebody who is fit for purpose to do the job.
But Kayode, I before we go on a break, I was thinking to myself, and I said, how did you even get to a place where we have statutes which says that if you are not an FA chairman, a state FA chairman, you can't aspire to become Nigerian Football Federation.
Let me tell you why. I think this started under after what happened to Ibrahim Galadima, the way he was born out of office. Sonny Lulu came in. It was during Sonny Lulu's and Megari, and then literally Megari's tenure, that one thing, when you live in a bubble, you think that this thing is going to continue forever. It's not a chieftaincy title. That you know that until death do you part. So those who conspire to plan that coup at the time thought they were going to be in office forever, or that their successors will be in office. They don't know that a day will come when a pharaoh who doesn't know Joseph will come into power. So that's what has happened now. That's where the agitation is coming from now. Those who did it at that time, they did not know it was going to be like this. So that was why they excluded a lot of people who should have been involved. There are I think only 44 people who will vote for the ESCOs. Yeah. It is wrong.
A majority of them are state FA chairmen.
37 of them are state FA chairmen.
So what is left for the other stakeholders?
That's the point. So now we have a bigger field, and it means more opportunities for others to come in, pitch their tent, let's see what you have to offer. Then on that basis, when we have choices, we can now decide this is what we want, this is what we want.
So I think now we can cast our net wider so that we'll be able to catch the biggest fish in order to move Nigerian football forward. And of course, there has been a court injunction in Bayelsa, which stopped the annual general meeting of the NFF. Of course, that stopped the Congress. But now we've heard news that that injunction can be quashed within a week or two.
It's part of the process to get this thing done. Because as long as that order is subsisting, you cannot do anything. So they have to get out of the way to withdraw the suit. That's what has happened now.
So now the Nigeria Football Federation, the election will be taking place in September by the grace of God. Let's quickly go on this very briefly. We'll be back to talk about what's happening. And Ashanti Kotoko, remember we talked about them winning the Ghana Premier League. Clubs have started coming to the club to say we want this player, and at the same time, Andrayo is urging the team to, of course, to consolidate on what they've been able to do in the past season and do well, represent the country well in the CAF Championship. But with the players, we are expecting the likes of Etoga perhaps to leave the club to go somewhere in Europe. We'll be talking about, and of course, we talked about the Bayana, I meant to say, they've touched down in Morocco, and they have a mandate to dethrone the Super Falcons as the champion of Africa. We'll be back to talk about all of that. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and it's still Nigeria Super Fans Forum. Of course, we've been talking about everything football in Africa, and I hope you've got your copy of The Making of Nigeria's Dream Team by our own Dr. Mumini Alao. The book is selling like hotcake. Remember, it is available on Amazon. If you're in Nigeria, it is available on Jumia, and if you want a copy that's autographed by the author himself, of course, you can get that done through us. Just contact us through the email that Kayode read out in the last episode.
You say NigeriaSuperFans1@gmail.com. NigeriaSuperFans1@gmail.com.
Okay,
just send us a mail.
Okay, so you just send us a mail, and of course that will get done. Kayode, let's talk about Ghana now. We've crossed over to Ghana now. Ashanti Kotoko, they won the league, and of course it's something that we've always talked about, as in issues that part of the issue that bedeviling African football, why it does not grow, because after a while the best will begin to look beyond the, of course, look a greener pasture, like we always say. And now of course this club from Switzerland, they've come to tell Ashanti Kotoko that we want your player in the person of Imoro Ibrahim. I'm talking about Royal Antwerp, and they're offering 50,000 euros Kayode. And the club said, no, this is really ridiculous.
The club can afford to say that. But then you look at the player's circumstance. What are his circumstances? Like, he is a top player. He plays for one of the two biggest teams in the country. But how has that translated to his own material possession? How has he been able to live a comfortable life? At least there's a minimum expectation from his family. Don't forget, most of these players are breadwinners in their family. The families look up to them to bring something in. And you have to ask yourself, on the salaries and bonuses that they get while still playing at home, are they able to take care of themselves, let alone take care of their families?
Even extended families.
Extended family. Now, when opportunities like this come, they are quick to rush to go to Azerbaijan. In fact, he is very lucky he's going to Belgium, even for such a pittance. Others have gone to lesser known teams in Cyprus, in Vietnam, Cambodia,
Azerbaijan,
and the rest of them. So for me, this issue doesn't have a straightforward answer. You have to be very, very careful, Femi. The fact is, this player will leave even on a free.
Sorry, maybe to put it in a better perspective,
Okay.
maybe I should just, like I said, Royal Antwerp have submitted a bid of 50,000 euros to Ashanti Kotoko for a season loan deal.
Okay.
And I've also tabled 200,000 euros for a permanent deal, should he impress. But now the club is saying that they want a 50,000 euro for the loan deal instead of the 50,000 that Royal Antwerp is offering.
Okay.
And they want a deal of 400,000 euros for a permanent deal.
That's what I'm saying. I like the fact that
they just want a win-win situation for both the club and the player.
The club, how much interest does the club, the European club, have in the player? Are they so much in desperate need of the player? Is it that important that they can afford to pay whatever you want?
And guys, it's a left back, not a striker.
Or will they look elsewhere? Because once they look elsewhere, what that means is that the player will be depressed. And at the end of the day, he will eventually leave for something that is even lesser than that. Most times, he will leave the country unannounced. The next thing you hear is in one league in Asia or wherever. So the club must weigh their options well. I like the fact that they are standing on their feet, that this is how much we have valued our player. If this player were to be
They also
European,
want to make money, of course.
if this player were to be European, you won't be pricing him like you are pricing tomatoes. 50,000 for a year's loan.
50,000 euros.
Come of it. Fine, you could look at how much is being paid currently and use that, but you cannot use that as a basis to judge, because if he's getting 5,000 cedis to play in the Ghanaian league now, and you want him to come and play in the Belgian league, for example, that means you expect him to step up his game. You do not expect the quality
at the same level.
To
perform at the same level.
At the same level. So you have to pay for that extra. And I like the fact that the club, Kotoko, they are standing their ground, but they also, like I said, have to be very careful to look at how important is this player, how desperate is the European club to get this player. If they are that desperate, you can hold them to ransom. That, you know what, if you are not paying this amount, no deal. But then in trying to hold them, you should not overdo it, because if you stifle them, they back out, the player is back to ground zero. So we have to be that careful.
Okay, the season has barely ended, and of course they are already all over the club. Now I'm talking about clubs for Ashanti Kotoko. I will be surprised if Etoga still remain with the club next season.
I will too.
And Rayu is already challenging the club, the same Ashanti Kotoko, to consolidate and do well in the next year's CAF Championship. Do you see that happening, Kyle?
It's very difficult for clubs in sub-Saharan Africa. I've told you this, Femi. Go and check the statistics. The teams that have won the CAF competition in the past few years have always been the North Africans, until recently that South African teams are now challenging them. Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, they are now challenging them. Now, it is because of the financial strength that they have. You cannot keep players on the basis of 2,000 CDs, 5,000 CDs.
In some cases, even on hungry stomach.
Even in some cases without pay.
Yeah.
So players will go to where they get paid. And the fact is, we do not have the kind of money, we do not make the kind of money from football that will allow them to be paid as much as their counterparts from Southern Africa and North Africa. We are not even talking about Asia or Europe now. We are talking about
within the same continent.
Yes, within the same continent. So our players will go to North Africa, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt. They will go to South Africa. Some will go to Angola. Yeah.
Remember, you mentioned the case of
somebody who went there, who got good money there. One of the best players in the Angolan league now is a Nigerian player. He will not get, and you know the very funny thing, Femi, let me shock you. That guy wasn't picked from the Nigerian league. He was playing in Europe. He was playing in Portugal. He told me, he said, when the call came from his agent that he was needed in Africa, it was like Africa, him to go and play. But when he heard how much they were willing to pay, he said, well,
you're willing to pay better than what you're earning in Portugal?
Yes, Femi. He said, you know what, let's go and try this for a season and a half. That was what he signed for a season and a half. At the end of that season, at the end of the half season, the first half season, because it came in January, he saw what they had and he signed a full contract. He has been there for like 4 or 5 years now. He's still one of their best players. So for me, I think it is about paying the players what they are worth. And you can only pay the players according to what you also make. Let's be fair to the clubs too. So what that means is you have to look for avenues to make money. Because football is big.
So that you can retain your players.
As simple as that.
Okay, and of course we heard that even Eyimba's Victor Bauma has already agreed to join a Nigerian side. We don't know whether that is true, but it is just to pick credence to what Kade is saying. Kade, let's talk about Qatar. Remember, I said it before we talk about the AFCON. I said it last time, but you thought,
I didn't think so. I was just wondering why you are so obsessed with this sex thing.
But this is a warning. This is a stark warning from the Ghanaian government. They are warning Ghanaians who will be going to Qatar to cheer the Black Stars that even the players are not excluded. If you have indiscriminate sex, the players will play the rest of the tournament in prison currently.
Maybe they walk up in the prison.
So I think it's just a reminder.
Yeah,
so that
I agree.
If you know you can't abide by these rules, stay back.
Don't go.
Stay back.
Don't go. And like I told you the last program, I said these laws are everywhere. All host countries, they have their peculiar laws that they bring up. It may not be about sex. It may be about security. It may be about a whole lot of other things that you should not do in our country. That's allowed. The Qataris have said this before the World Cup, Femi. It wasn't as if the World Cup started yesterday.
Why did FIFA even take the World Cup to when they knew that?
Because they are a member country, they deserve to host if they have
without these restrictions.
Yes. Femi, even without the World Cup, if you go to Arab countries, they have these restrictions. You cannot do open display of affection. They have these restrictions. In fact, women are not allowed to go outside unaccompanied. These things happen. It's not as if they are doing it because of the World Cup. No.
Even if you restrict on the freedom of people who are supposed to come and give the glitter and glamour to whatever you are doing.
They have not asked anybody not to come. What they have said is, do not do this whilst you are in our country. Femi, and if you know you want to do it, you know what I will suggest? Go with your wife.
I'm unmarried.
You are married.
I'm not me. I'm talking for the fans now. Not me. I'm married.
Okay, I thought you said you are not married. I would have just called your wife right away to ask her, Madam.
I'm just putting myself in the shoes of some of these fans who are unmarried.
If you are not married,
And
this is not a death sentence. It's not a life sentence that you are banned from having sex for the rest of your life. We're talking about just one month. We're talking about 1 month.
Okay, Kade, let's go to let's go to the Africa Women Cup of Nations coming up next month in Morocco. The South Africa Football Association they're promising the Bafana $30,000 if they dethrone. As a matter of fact, they put forward the motivation, dethrone the Super Falcons and get this amount of money. And these two teams will be meeting in the opener of the South American League.
Yes, that is after what happened at the Aisha Buhari Cup, where they defeated Nigeria to win the
We're angry. Because of course we didn't have the complement of the full players.
They played Nigeria.
The Super Falcons did not have the complement
of.
of.
They could also say the same thing, that they didn't have all their players around. Now you have them at the AFCON, at the AFCON, Abi. So they will also bring theirs. So there won't be any excuse.
The last tournament, of course, we defeated them in the
you
penalties.
have
Of course,
defeated them. But then what you should also note is that over the past few years, gradually, the rate at which they have improved, Nigerians have not improved at that rate. So now even before they used to be about and around the semi-finals and everything. Before, I think the 4 superpowers before were Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Cameroon. Now the North Africans are gradually coming.
particularly Morocco.
Morocco, although I don't see them posing that threat yet. So this competition is going to be between Nigeria, South Africa, and Cameroon, with the absence of Ghana. So for me, I think South Africa, they have a right to expect to win after what has happened. But you know what? I know Nigeria, when we push we push our backs to the wall, and you don't expect, that's when they strike like panthers. So I think this will still be a little bit too far for South Africa to overcome.
Okay, Kadi, it will not be fair for us to go without talking about the final transfer of Sadio Mane from Liverpool to Bayern. Club almost wept. He almost wept when, of course, he was asked. You know, he said a lot of things, and he said, "Man, the summary of everything is, I will miss you."
Yes, he will. Every coach will miss a Sadio Mane.
But I wonder the crocodile tears, because this is a guy that earns £100,000 a week. And you have the likes of James Mina, even earning more than Sadio Mane at Liverpool. Mina, who rarely plays all the games.
It's not the fault of the coach. It's not the fault of the coach. It is the player and his manager, the kind of deal you sign.
But we've seen coaches fighting for manager. I want this guy.
No. You cannot ask a player has a manager. The manager has negotiated. It's fine when he was coming from Southampton, it wasn't this big. But after the first season, the second season, and his influence grew in the team, they should have called for a renegotiation. His manager didn't do that, and now that he feels he's going, the club will look at his age and say, you know what, let's bring in younger players, let him loose. They've cut him loose. Probably by next season, they will allow Salah to go, and then the club will continue to build. That's football. It's a cauldron. What goes round comes round. So it's not the end of the world for him or for the club. Liverpool will always be Liverpool.
And he said, our loss, Bayern's gain.
Yeah,
it's really deep.
Yeah, it is.
Very
Bayern are getting a player who works very hard, who works his socks off for the team, who doesn't relent, who doesn't know when he's beating until the final whistle. Is a player that puts all is all in the game. So for me, I think Bayern has gained a very, very good player.
Let's talk about our own Taiwo Awoniyi to Nottingham Forest. Do you think it's a good deal? £17.5 million. The money might be there, but we're looking at what is ahead. You know, you are leaving Union Berlin, a team that is meant to play in the Europa League at least next season, for a team that has just been promoted to the Premier League after more than 20 years in the Championship. Now, what about the body? Will he be able to even carry the burden of the club? Is it a good move, in your honest opinion?
For his career, it is. It is, because don't forget that Union Berlin was the first time that Awoniyi will play 2 seasons in one club. since he started his professional career. Now he has the opportunity to go to another club where he can continue his growth. Fine.
And this is a more challenging,
it
league.
is. Nottingham Forest will spend the better part of next season fighting relegation. Let's not kid ourselves. But the fact is,
so
if he does well,
that is the concern of a lot of Nigerians.
Yes.
That is why they are asking if he thinks that deal, or that is why they think that deal is not the right deal for him.
me, I think it is. Seriously. If he does well, and I pray he does well, bearing any injuries, what happened to Watford? Dennis after Watford?
You took that on my mouth because Dennis he has told the club that he's not going to play in the championship.
That's the point.
But he still hasn't got a new club up till now.
They are, see, Fabi, transfers are made in 24 hours. If there are clubs that will take him on. Now everybody is just waiting because they know that if they go now, the club will be asking for a higher pay. They want to leave it to the last possible moment. Fine, the player has come out to say he's not going down with you. Now the club will want to make as much as they can from him. But suitors will also wait until the last possible moment when they know that the club will be forced to take a reasonable amount. That's how the game is played in the transfer market.
Okay, before we run out of the studio, Burkina Faso, Golden Eaglets. What's your prediction?
I thought we had gone.
No. I already said that I was going to put you on a hot seat. So what do you think will be the scoreline?
Am I allowed to say both teams will score?
No, that is for the betting. That means if you are betting, if you are placing a bet, this one you want an outright prediction.
But to be honest, it's going to be a low-scoring game.
It's going to be tight.
1-0, 2-1.
And
because both teams will not make as much mistakes as their opponents have made. I see that they always
very conservative in the game.
They always cut mistakes to the barest minimum. So I see a 2-1, a 1-0.
Or
a penalty. Yeah, you took that out of my mouth. 1-0, 2-1, or at the most 1-1 penalties. But when it goes to penalties, all bets are off. So
the crystal ball is not showing you anything green, lifting the trophy.
You want me to say Nigeria?
No, I'm just saying.
Out of patriotism, Nigeria. But like I said,
I'm not putting you on that duress.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You want me to say that Nigeria will win. That's why you're asking whether I see green.
I know you're a prophet. Whatever you say.
That's why you're asking whether I see green. But the truth is, joking apart, is that this game is very, very tight. The game will be won on the bench, on the technical side of things. And that's where it gets crazier. Both coaches have shown that they are very, very technical. They are tactical too. They know their onions. I particularly paid attention to the Burkina Faso coach. I saw some of his moves and I applauded him. And same thing for our own Nduka Ugwadi. So that's why I said I want to just put that out there that 2-1, 1-1, 1-0.
Okay, 2-1, 1-1, 1-0, and penalties. They are not seeing anything.
I am not. I want to be safe.
Okay, so if you are in Cape Coast, Ghana, please go out and see that game. Then you can also tell us what you think. If you think those two teams deserve to be in the final. Of course, also let us know what you think about the Sadio Mane move. Sadio Mane is arguably the biggest star in African football right now. What do you think about the move from Liverpool to Bayern Munich? Do you think it's a good move? And for Nigerians, viewers, do you think Tawauni's proposed move to Nottingham Forest from Union Berlin, Germany? Union Berlin will play in Europa League, but I think the deal is almost done according to reports that we're playing in the Premier League. Now, do you think it would be a good move for him? They said it feels a good move, but I think it's kind of too early because when you're going to spend your first season in the league fighting relegation, it could damage a lot of motivation right there. Kade Ogundare, thanks for coming on the show once again. And to our producer, I would say thank you very much. And don't forget to get the book, The Making of Nigeria's Dream Team. Get that book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Jumia if you're in Nigeria. And if you want an autographed copy, of course, like the email that Kyle did read out the other time, just send an email, and of course, we will get in touch to know how that is going to get done. So tomorrow is the final of the WAFU U-17 Championship between Nigeria and Burkina Faso. It's going to be an interesting one. And on Monday, we'll be back to give you all the review of that game. Until then, have a fantastic time for yourself. Bye for now.